Okay, welcome back for lesson 37 in Saxon's Algebra 1/2, second edition textbook. And this lesson is kind of a carryover from yesterday's lesson on mixed number addition. Today we're going to do mixed number subtraction. And it gives you the very same problem that we had yesterday. But let's see, we're going to subtract here. So if I say 10 thirds minus 9 fourths, again I've got 40 over 12 minus 27 over 12 is 13 over 12, and that's 1 and 1/12, just like it was yesterday. And I know it was a subtraction problem yesterday, and it is again today, but really the point is that subtraction and addition of fractions are done exactly the same way. You're just adding one and subtracting the other. Alright, so let's do some actual subtraction problems, and then we'll do our practice problems. So go to the next page. Alright, this says subtract, so we're going to do our whole numbers first, especially when you have these big numbers. 6 minus 1 is 5, and we can't do this, so we're going to change that and make that 11. 11 minus 2 is 9, bring down that 3. Now I'm going to find a common denominator for 4 and 16. That's right, it's 16. And this one is already 16, so it's just going to stay. 4 times 4 is 16, so 3 times 4 is 12. And here I'm going to say 12 sixteenths minus 1 16th would leave me with 11 sixteenths. Alright, good job. Let's go to the next one. Okay, so let's go ahead and work on our practice problems. And we're going to get a common denominator here first. 5 and 3, well that would be 15. 5 times 3 is 15, 1 times 3 is 3. 3 times 5 is 15, so 2 times 5 is 10. Now I have a little situation here. I know that I cannot subtract 10 from 3. So what am I going to have to do about that? Well, I'm going to have to come over here and change my 7 ones to 6 ones. And then I'm going to have to add 1, that 1 that I borrowed, or I'm changing the form of, to a fraction here that I can add to 3/15. Alright, now the value of it has to be 1 and the bottom number has to be 15. So what does the top number have to be for this fraction to equal 1? That's right, it has to be 15 plus 15. Alright, now I can add 3/15 and 15/15, and I get 18/15, which gives me a number that I can subtract 10/15 from, and that's going to give me 18 minus 10 is 8/15, and then come back over here to my whole numbers. 6 minus 4 is 2. So 2 and 8/15, and that would be the work I would want to see on your paper. Alright, go to the next one. Alright, let's do the same thing. Let's go ahead and get our common denominator. Now this one's a little more difficult. 8 and 5. When we did the lesson on multiples and finding least common multiple and denominators, I told you that you should start with the largest one and start counting up the multiples. So you've got 8, 16, 24, 32, 40. Alright, so 40 is the first one we come to that 5 will actually go into. So we know that's the one. So 8 times 5 is 40. 7 times 5 is 35. 5 times 8 is 40, 1 times 8 is 8. Now here we have that very same situation we just had in the last frame. So I'm going to take 1 from the ones, make that a 5. and I'm going to add 1 here. Has to have the bottom number of 40 so I can add it. So the top number also needs to be 40. And now I have 48 over 40 minus 35 over 40. And 48 minus 35 is 13/40. Now I can come back to my whole numbers, and 5 minus 2 is 3. I can't do this, so I'll change this to 2 and this to 11. 11 minus 4 is 7. Bring down that 2, and this is my final answer. Alright, so good job. Remember, a lot of times in subtracting fractions, you're going to have this very scenario right here come up, where you're going to have to come over here and steal one of these ones and bring it over here. I always say that a fraction can be like a chameleon. You know, a chameleon can just change its color to be whatever color it needs to be to match its surroundings. So that's what you need this fraction to do. You need it to just change itself, morph itself into whatever the denominator is of the fraction that you're trying to add it to. And then you need to make sure that you always put the same number on top and bottom and then add. Okay? Good job, and I'll see you again when we do lesson 38.